Hey, what's going on, Perky people? This is Travis from Perky's Protein. You know, I was sleeping and thinking on this thing for a couple days, and I was like, wait a minute. This sounds too good to be true. Not saying there's no such thing as a free lunch. I'm just saying there's no way that this healthcare plan could be true. Now, if you haven't been paying attention, because most people don't pay attention to what happens inside their state assembly or their state senate or anything that happens outside the news, and that could be a problem. So check this out. California State Senate advances a $400 billion single-payer health care bill. Now, for some people that are huge on single-payer, like, yeah, the government needs to run health care completely. You know, this is a great thing. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, what's the effect on business? Just out of curiosity, because check it out. I know that businesses give their money to the government gives their money to teachers, police officers, firefighters, social services, roads, bridges, infrastructure, the children, whatever it costs to maintain the state of California, okay? We get the money from businesses through taxes, okay? The businesses pay taxes on everything. If they buy a chair, they pay the taxes on the chair every year for 29 years, right? If they buy a refrigerator, they pay the taxes on that for every year for 29 years. And it's called a 571L property tax. But how does that affect everything, right? So here's how it works out. Currently, the state pays $100 billion. Well, they used to pay about $100 billion a year to run the state. And that's roads, bridges, infrastructure, cops, teachers, firemen, welfare, everything, okay? If we raise that price to an extra $400 billion just in healthcare, right? This means the state taxes have to reach $500 billion. $500 billion. Dude, that's insane. That's insane. So what does that do to Joe individual? I know, like, if you're a Bernie Sanders person, you're like, yeah, we're going to make the rich pay for it. Pay attention, Hollywood. That's you this time. Okay, so what does that look like? Currently, we charge the top percent in the state of California, 14% in state taxes. That's what comes out of your check, man, 14% if you're the top percent. Okay, if we multiply that by 5, that means 70% of your money is going to go to state tax. 70%. Now, for some of you guys that aren't good in math, you're like, oh, yeah, that's great. We're going to make the rich pay for it, you know? Okay, I get it. Now, add in the 40% that the feds take out of your check, and now we have a problem. We have tax at 110%. Now, you can't tax anyone at everything plus everything that they have, or else they'll just move out of the state. And that creates a problem, okay? You can't tax everyone for everything. Picture if we had that Conor McGregor fight versus Floyd Mayweather. These guys are supposed to get $100 million a piece, but we tax them at $110 million. That means they fight, we take away all their money, and then we take away their houses for even thinking about having a pay-per-view fight. That's exactly the same. That's the same exact comparison. Now, if you're a business, minimum wage people, you know this number right here. And you made $10 an hour, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? You don't get $10 on your check. You get 8. These two go to taxes. You're paying taxes out of your check. But whatever you pay in taxes, your boss has to match in what's called a payroll tax, okay? A payroll tax. They're paying a tax for having you. Not only are they taking the tax out of your check, but they're also paying a tax just for having you. And then at the end of the year, they have what's called a FUTA tax. Some of you guys are like, wait a minute, I never heard of a FUTA tax. Well, that's probably because you don't own a business. If you own a business, you've heard of a payroll tax and a FUTA tax in addition to your 571L property tax that Joe Public doesn't pay anyways. So if you were to run these taxes and the state is to increase your taxes by 500%, that means they would take 5 times as much. They would take all of your money, now the cost of insurance would definitely go down if you take everyone's money away, right? The price would be very inexpensive if no one had money and you know the cost of everything went down. Now, if you're a business and you had to match that tax also on the back end, right? Single payer means we're going to take a lot of the business taxes away. So if you're a business, how do you control that? Well, that's easy. You fire employees. That's the easiest way to do it. Okay, the other way to do it is raise your prices. So guess what, people on Social Security? The prices in California would have to go way the heck up just in order to pay for this healthcare system. So pretend that happens, okay? Businesses aren't going to stick around for that type of stuff. They're going to go over to places like Arizona, Nevada, anywhere they can so that they can survive. Now, here's the way business money works. Business pays taxes, goes to the government, goes to the teachers, police, firemen, social services, road, bridges, infrastructure, whatever. In the event that businesses leave, if these guys leave, we lose our tax base. If we lose our tax base, the government really can't work too well. If the government can't work too well, we can't pay for teachers, police, firefighters, social services, welfare, roads, bridges, infrastructure, children, healthcare for all. We'll have no money. The state of California doesn't magically make money. We get money from taxes. And if you screw the people who actually pay the taxes and they leave, you don't have taxes. Prices have to go up, and we'll have to do something called furlough days, reductions to teachers, police officers, firefighters, social services. Those of you guys who went through that a couple years ago, you know what happens when the business tax base goes down. All of a sudden you're working less and you're getting paid less and your benefits start to suck and your insurance cost starts to change up. Think about that, okay? Those of you guys that are fighting for this single payer system, don't think of it as pie in the sky and rainbows and unicorns and sprinkles. Think of the actual costs. Okay, don't fight for something if you don't know the actual cost. And then also, at the end of the day, are you really willing to give up furlough days? Are you willing to take the benefits loss? Are you willing to see the price increases go up and to have your healthcare run like the DMV? Think about that. Just think about that. And then also something to think about when the state runs out of money or declares bankruptcy and they have to renegotiate your pension because of healthcare. Is that what you're really looking to do? Anyhow, I thought I'd share that from a business point of view. This is Travis from Perky's Protein. I hope you had a nice experience.